Hi everybody, Robert here again for my weekly update, and again it's it's not a good one. Uh, I just want to start off this video by offering my sincere gratitude to everybody who commented on last week's video. Um, I didn't realize how much I was not hurt, a little bit upset about the result, obviously, of gaining a pound last week. I didn't realize until I actually started to make the video, and I realized straight away after I'd posted it and I watched it back and started reading some of the comments. I thought, you know what it is? This community is fantastic because they want you to do well. I want all you guys to do well. You want me to do well, and it really meant a lot. That's all I'm trying to say is, your comments were lovely. So this week, I'm just going to jump straight in. The result again was the same. I somehow gained a pound. I don't know how. I sit here and I hold my hands up and say I followed the plan that me and Catherine did as much as I possibly could. I had my usual amount of sins. I didn't go over my sins any of the days. Um, you know, I when I was at my mum and dad's on Thursday, we had shepherd's pie. I didn't even have a second. There was some left. I could have had that. It was practically free. I didn't overeat. I had a coffee with my dad as I always do, and I had a biscuit. I didn't have anything at work. I didn't snack. The only snacks that I've had this week have been, the under 100 calorie crisps that I've counted as me sins. And somehow, like I say, I gained a pound, and it just didn't happen. It's something's just not registering, I think, and it's yeah. I had that initial reaction, obviously the same reaction I had last week where I got off the scale and I thought, oh, you know what it is, like screw this, you know what I mean? But I didn't. I wasn't as bad. Like I processed it pretty quickly. Sat down and I went and got a coffee. Um, I'm delighted to say that Catherine lost 2.5 pound, and I'm really proud of her because she has said for weeks she needed a boost. Just a boost to get her going in the right direction. So we can have a really good final push of this year towards Christmas. Now, I just wanted to get onto a couple of little stories of where I've found myself not trying to dwell on things too much. And one of them is I'm wearing this Newcastle top now. Obviously, Newcastle are about to kick off, so I'm wearing it because of that. Because I sometimes like to wear my top in the house. I probably wouldn't wear it outside where I live. It's not usually a good idea, especially when it's surrounded by Middlesbrough fans. So I don't get a chance to wear it that often outside. um, but the whole point of mentioning that is this is a non-scale victory because this T-shirt is a 3X, right? And last year, as I've mentioned before in my videos, I had to wear a 4X. Now this is when I got it, I thought, oh, it's a bit too tight. And when I wore it on holiday, it was a bit tight. This is the first time I've worn it since Tenerife. Now, obviously, I am lighter than I was when I came back from Tenerife because I did have that great 5 pound loss. And I'm wearing it, and it feels so much nicer. So that's a non-scale victory. Another non-scale victory that I've had this week is Facebook memories, as have been showing us that this time last year we were in Florida, which we were. And obviously, I mentioned at the very start of my journey that I was so disappointed with myself that I couldn't go on the roller coasters with my daughter. She had to go on all of the big roller coasters like the Velocicoaster and stuff like that by herself. Now, I'm a big theme park fan, and you know, um, letting myself get to this weight means I can't get on most of the rides, most of the like the roller coasters. Um, so when we're going again in 2027, there is no chance in hell I'm missing out. But anyway, here this is the non-scale victory. As I look at the photos of myself, and I was probably about, I would say, 2 stone heavier than I am now. I've lost 3 stone obviously since this year. That's because I gained another stone from when we got back in October up until the end of December. The end of January, sorry, when I started my Mounjaro journey. So I look back at the photos there and I think, do you know what it is? Like I look I look better now, and that made me feel good. And with all circumstances that are going on with me in my body lately. So I just want to give an update on what we've been doing in the past week in terms of food. We followed Catherine's meal plan as best we did, as best we could. Obviously, some changes based on how we feel. Obviously working the second job and whether or not we just want to throw something up quickly. So we didn't have one of the meals that we had planned. We just changed that for some dirty rice that we had in the freezer because obviously we make more portions of it that we can just put in the freezer and it's dead easy. Now we did have the chili bowls, which were absolutely gorgeous, and we had like a um, tuna pasta like salad thing, but it was filled with green beans, peas, and stuff. It was filled with speed food. Basically, it was just so tasty and so filling. But that's the issue. Um, I think for me is a lot of carbs, and I think I'm going to try and focus over the next few weeks on trying to cut down the carbs a little. Try not to rely on carb-filled lunches like pasta and stuff to make us feel full. And my gym's reopened. It reopened yesterday, so there's absolutely no excuse this week to not get some good exercise done, and I will keep you all updated on that. So I'll probably do some updates of me in the gym. Um, so look away if you're squeamish. Uh, but yeah, not a great week. But my mental health is definitely better than it was last week. Um, I'm still a little bit frightened to get myself out there on a long walk, and I'm going to snap out of that one eventually. Um, I know I will. But at the minute, everything's going nicely. I'm in terms of my motivation, everything's going nicely. I just need a couple of those results to happen on the scales, and I'm sure they will. I'm sure the result will come this week. I'm really determined to do well. After seeing Catherine have a good week, I think it's made me more determined to have a good week as well, because I want her to continue and have a good week this week. She is working away from home, so she does find it a bit hard sticking so much to the plan because she meets up with her teammates because her team, so like me when I work, because obviously where I work, I don't work with my team. My team are all spread out across the country, and that's similar to her, where she works. So she meet up with her team, and they'll have like a bit of a social bit, and a bit of food and a couple of drinks and that. So she's gonna try and be as good as she possibly can, so she can, keep up that good result and go into next Friday. So yeah, not the greatest, but a good week in terms of non-scale victories. So let me know how everyone's got on down below in the comments. As always, I read them all. I comment and I reply as much as I possibly can. I love seeing everyone's results. I love seeing everyone's journeys, and I love everyone's positivity. So please keep those comments going. I'm going to stop this video now because I'm going to get all sorted and watch Newcastle hopefully win. If you're not a Newcastle fan, and if you're a Bournemouth fan, good luck. Never mind. But yeah, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you all in our next video, which will be tonight, which will be our meal plan video for the week. So I'll speak to you later.